Welcome, everyone, to the next edition of Unscripted and Unstoppable. I am Laureen Quick, your host. This podcast, as you may know, is not about fixing yourself or becoming someone new. It's really about learning how to listen more deeply to yourself so that you can live and choose and move forward from a place or to a place, I should say, where you are living what is actually true for you. Each month, we explore a different part of that journey. And this month, we are entering a quieter, more honest space where we are exploring what it means to reclaim beauty, not as something to chase or create, but rather as something we begin to see again. Because for many women, there is a point where beauty does not feel available as it once did. Life can start to feel flat, muted, and unseen in certain parts of our lives. Not because it's gone, but because somewhere along the way we stopped including ourselves in it. We learn to measure it, to earn it, or to place it outside of ourselves. And so this month, it's not about adding anything new. It's not about noticing what has been overlooked, dismissed, or quietly set aside. It is truly about seeking beauty as we begin to reconnect with what is true for us. It invites us back into feeling, back into presence, back into a relationship with ourselves that isn't based on performance or approval. So the question becomes, where have I stopped seeing beauty, especially in my own life? And what will begin to change as I allow myself to see it again? Today, I am joined by the delightful Catherine Clift. She is a well-being guide whose work really centers on helping others reconnect with their sense of self-worth, emotional safety, and their inner truth. She supports individuals who have spent years being the strong one, often feeling unseen or emotionally exhausted, and she guides them back to a place where they no longer have to perform strength just to feel worthy, valued, and loved. Her work is grounded in the understanding that change doesn't come from pressure or pushing through. It happens when we feel safe enough to allow our emotions to coexist with us, to be a part of who we are, and to allow ourselves to reconnect to what we actually feel, our truth. This conversation explores the quiet ways we disconnect from ourselves and the equally quiet ways that we can begin to return. If there are parts of your life that have started to feel distant, muted, or harder to access, this conversation will offer you a different way back, not through effort, not through pressure, pushing, but really through attention, not through becoming something new, but seeing what has been there all along. With that, I want to just jump right in, and I'm going to start, Catherine, by asking you my first question today. Your work you work with both emotional release, and at the core of this work, what are you really trying to help people release and connect to?
Basically, I want to help them connect to their authentic selves. I think women, particularly, they've spent most of their lives, focusing on others, like as, parenting, spouse, helping their spouse, maybe caregiving, their parents or whatever. But they always focus out there on, what can I do to help others? And they really forget about themselves. I mean, there's so many women that don't even know what self-care is all about. It's like they don't put themselves as number one. It's like they don't put themselves like, what is my needs? What is my wants? It's like, other people's wants. So that's a real issue, when you devalue yourself that way.
Hmm. And so as they begin to stop doing that,
Exactly.
what do they go to or towards? What do they replace that attention with?
Well, basically, what they want to do is they want to focus on themselves, and particularly they want to really practice like the present moment. It's like, so many of us are spinning in our heads like we're living in the past or we're living in the future. It's like we miss the present moment. And that present moment is where we find that inner peace, where, it's like, and just to ground yourself that way. What I would suggest is something like, just stop what you're doing, sit down, close your eyes, and take some deep breaths. Deep breathing is one of the most wonderful, simple things you can do to connect with yourself. You're basically getting out of your head, grounding in your body, and just be aware of your body in that space. Like, what does it feel like? Your feet on the floor. What does it feel like to sit in a chair? I mean, maybe scan the room, like focus on what's in the room. And it's like, it is a wonderful way to quiet the mind and just be in that present moment. And I can't tell you how peaceful that is. And if you just do that once or twice a day, you're going to find yourself reconnecting with yourself in a very beautiful way.
So it sounds like it's first off noticing that you have this pattern of not being in the present moment, not being calm, but rather rushing forward with all the craziness of life and allowing that to guide you and direct you in how you live and spend your days. And
Right.
then stopping that
Mm-hmm.
with attention and
Right.
taking that pause you suggested, and breathing is one tool. Just even simply noticing your surroundings is another way
Exactly.
to come into the
Exactly.
present moment. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And so many women over 50, they often describe themselves as they just feel flat, or they just feel disconnected from everyone and everything. They're not necessarily unhappy, but they just don't feel fully alive.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is happening there?
I think they're feeling maybe an inner pull. In other words, it's like there may be a voice that's saying there's more to life than what you've experienced in the past. It's like maybe they're going through transition, like they might be empty nesters or their children are going to college. And it's like suddenly their purpose is shifting. And that can be a huge challenge for people. It's like, oh my gosh, what's my purpose in life? It's like I was doing this and now I'm not. And I'm feeling so disconnected. It's like, that's when I would say, it's almost like they're asking, who am I? What is my purpose now? Right. So it's kind of like, I would say, stop and reflect. It's like, how many labels do you have? You're not a mother, you're not a spouse, you're not a parent, you're not, it's like, who are you? It's like you are you are an individual that's important. And I think it's time for women to say, stop. It's like, you are important. You need to make yourself number one. It's like that's what you need to do. It's like that's what's happening. It's like listen to that inner voice that's calling, and that can be very scary. It's like, but if I lose my purpose, who am I? And that is so scary for so many people, not just women. And it's like everyone seems like they have to have a purpose, but sometimes just stopping and reflecting. And and for anybody who does journaling or whatever, I might suggest journaling for them, because a lot of times, just journaling, you can come up with an answer like, what am I supposed to be doing? It's like maybe you need to, you ask yourself, if money was no object, what would I like to be doing in life? And it's that call. It's like, it's like, late dreaming. I didn't find my purpose until I was, late in life, until I was 62. So it's
Mhm.
like it's never too late to listen to that calling. And I really feel like there's so many women feeling that call, whether they answer it or not. But I strongly say, have the courage to, ask yourself, what is it that I'm feeling? What is it that I really want to do in life? What is my contribution that I want to do? And, if you're scared to do it, then find support, do it. But it's like, that's how they can really connect with themselves, or what is saying. It's like, my purpose, that my past purpose is gone. It's like, now I need to find out, what am I supposed to be doing? Who am I? Where am I going? And just stop and reflect, whatever that is.
I
Mm,
think for many of us, my own experience with my own life, but also with the clients I work with, we get to this place and we think something's wrong with us.
exactly.
And and at the same time, we panic because we don't like it. It's not comfortable. So
Mhm.
we rush to fill the emptiness with anything.
Yeah,
And that is, from my own perspective, that has been the worst decision you can make, is to rush to fill this time rather than learn to stay in it and listen,
right,
listen,
right.
listen, listen. It is one of the biggest challenges, I believe, of being an older woman,
Mhm.
an older adult, is learning to recognize you've dropped all those roles that you used to fill that gave you purpose and meaning, and that is perfectly appropriate. And now you're in a place of discovery, and it can be an adventure, but you can't let the fear and the potential sense of chaos force you or cause you to jump to anything that will relieve that stress in a moment, because it may not be
Correct.
the right thing for you.
That's correct. Yes, that's what I would definitely recommend. It's like, don't do something suddenly. Like I said, don't just, stop and reflect. Ask yourself
Mhm.
some questions, because your inner self has all the answers. You just have to take the time to stop and ask. Mhm.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. So, you've said when we've talked before that emotions need to be released, not managed. What, in your
Correct.
opinion, what's the difference between that and why does it matter so much in midlife that we do this? We learn to release these emotions.
Actually, it doesn't matter if it's midlife or other time. I mean, when you manage emotions, you're holding on to them. You may be avoiding them, suppressing them, or whatever. And when you do that, your emotions are going to come back and bite you. I mean, it's like, you may think that, oh, I've handled my anger, I've held it, I've handled my grief or sadness, and suddenly something triggers you and you overreact. You may scream, you may do something in public that you absolutely will embarrass yourself. So, like I said, emotions are like a pressure cooker. It's like, if you suppress them and you suppress them long enough, they're going to come out in a very unpredictable way. So, yes, releasing emotions is very, very important. In fact, everything is energy. Energy wants to flow. And when you block that energy, negative things happen. First of all, you become physically ill many times, or emotionally ill, depressed, whatever. So it's like, it's so important to let those emotions release. And what I'd like to do now is give you a very simple exercise, and why letting go is so powerful, of letting go of any feeling in the moment, because the more you let go, the happier you become and the more abundance flows to you effortlessly. So, just to let you know, first of all, I want you to pick up a pen, if you could. Do you have a pen, Lauren?
I do.
Okay. I want you to roll it around in your hand. And I want you to notice, first of all, the pen represents your feelings, the hand represents your consciousness. Notice that the pen is not attached to your hand, just as feelings are not attached to you. In fact, we don't say, I feel sad or I feel angry. We say, I am sad or I am angry. And we actually give power to that feeling. So, what I want you to do is close your hand and grip that pen as hard as you can. And you will notice two things. The first thing you'll notice is it gets very uncomfortable holding that pen. There's another thing you're going to notice. You'll notice it's very familiar to you. And that's why we hold on to our feelings, because they are very familiar to us. It's like, well, who would I be if I let go of that anger? Or who would I be if I let go of that sadness? So I want you to turn your hand over, open it up, and drop the pen. That's as easy as letting go is. And now I'm going to walk you through a very simple exercise. So, what I want you to do, Laureen, I want you to think of something that bothers you, that doesn't give you any peace, that or seems unresolved.
Okay.
And when you think about that situation, what feeling comes up? Is it sadness? Is it frustration? Is it anger? Is it overwhelm? Whatever the feeling is, and rate the feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most intense and 1 being the least intense.
Mhm.
Okay? Now, does that feeling get you what you want? Does it give you peace?
Nope.
Okay. Would you be open to? Would you allow that feeling to soften and relax and dissolve? Yes or no?
Yes.
You have the power to let go. Okay. Do you allow that feeling to soften and relax so that you could be more free?
Yes.
Okay. And when would you be open to allowing that feeling to soften and relax so that you could be more free?
Nothing like the present moment right now.
All right. Do you now let that feeling go just for now?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want you to get in touch with the situation. On a
Mm-hmm.
scale of 1 to 10, did you notice that your number dropped?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And even if it drops 1 point, you still let go. The mind will say, oh, no, 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 it can't be that easy. But don't listen to the mind. The
Mm-hmm.
mind has nothing to do with it. You have the power to let go. And it is that simple exercise that completely transformed my life. I mean, it helped me let go of a marriage of 23 years that was both emotionally abusive and unsupportive. And it helped me let go of a job in a call center for 25 years that got so stressful that I developed shingles in the in the last month that I was there. So, and it's led me to life coaching. So, for all of your listeners, this simple exercise, I do this in my coaching. I'm telling you, it will transform your life.
That was really good. I went from an 8 to a 3
Very
in terms
good. That
of
is
the
just how
feeling.
powerful it is.
Yeah. And it's, it's funny because you can do that. It seems to me with every whether it's just a small little annoyance that just seems to be disturbing your day, or whether it's a really huge thing,
Absolutely.
like a marriage or a job or something like that. But
Yes, yes,
yeah, yeah, that's a cool little exercise. I will definitely use that in my life.
definitely. Definitely. Yes.
And so, moving into this more, there are, many women who still, they just have this sense of disconnection from their own signals. And I mean, what we just talked about there was really about just sort of letting go, recognizing first, but then letting go of
Right.
disruptive emotion. But
Right.
what does it really mean for us to come back into feeling and allowing our emotions, even if that's the right word, allowing, to
Uh-huh.
be a part of our life? What does that?
Actually, that is the key, allowing. In other words, allow the feelings, feel the feelings, because when you do that, you're not resisting them. When you resist them, that's the problem. That's what causes all the suffering in the world is resisting things like, I don't like this. I don't like this, whatever. So when you resist it, you're holding on to it. Just like I gave the example, you've got to let the energy flow. So it's like, highly recommend whatever feelings come up, allow them. There's people. It's like, but I don't like those feelings. But it's like, just and what I what would say, just send. I love you. It's like tell the feeling, I love you, feeling, I love you, and it will just dissolve when you do that.
Remember that as well. So let me ask you this, because I think we resist, but we also cling.
Oh,
We
absolutely.
cling to the good
Yes.
stuff. And that clinging, it also blocks us
Oh,
because we really want to,
absolutely.
like, how you always go to the same restaurant because you want to have the same great dinner. And then, of
Yeah,
course, you
right.
go and it's a terrible experience because it wasn't as good as
Right.
it was last time. So
Right.
this would work as well for the clinging things as
Oh
well.
yeah. I mean, when you cling, it's like you're never going to experience any new new things. It's like whatever. It's like life is out there to explore and enjoy. It's like when you cling to something, whether that's a relationship, a job. I mean, I did that. I clung to a job and a relationship way too long, and it made me miserable. So, I mean, you have to understand. I mean, if you're not happy, that is a signal to say, I need to do something different. If I'm not happy, I need, value yourself. I mean, for the longest time, I held on to my marriage because I thought, that I could somehow solve it. But it's like the unhappier I became, I finally said, wait a minute, I deserve happiness. I need to let go of this and do something else. It was the best decision I ever made. I mean, it wasn't easy to do, but I mean it, and I'm sure for a lot of women, it's not easy to make those decisions. But
It's
I
never
mean,
easy because
I mean, I want to tell your listeners, you deserve happiness. Don't ever be in a situation where you're miserable. I mean, there's got to be another choice somewhere.
I think that's a great piece of advice, Catherine, in the sense that if you want a signal, if you're looking for a sign that something needs
Absolutely,
to shift and change, it's when you feel unhappy, miserable, disconnected, uncomfortable, irritated, any of the negative emotions, right, that we associate with
absolutely,
negativity are clues that something needs to shift. And
absolutely.
then to go into ourselves and ask, what am I holding on to? What am I
Yes,
holding on to, and am I willing to let it go?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Powerful question to ask ourselves. There is, often there is a fear around feeling more deeply. So, like if I have four major feelings that I have, let's just call them
Yeah,
happiness, unhappiness, joy, and anger. If I only feel those four things, I know them. But then, okay, they're really emotions. There are an array of emotions, and they go deep. Do you think we resist going deeper in our sense of feelings? And what can we do to
I
not do that,
definitely.
not
I
resist?
definitely think we do. I mean, so many people are afraid to go deep because they're afraid of what they'll find. I mean, that's just it. I mean, it's like skeletons in the closet. It's like, oh, but if I go deep, what if I find out that, that I'm broken, that I'm not good enough, that I'm a failure, that, oh my gosh, it's like, I mean, the mind is the one that's going to protect you from that. It's like the mind says, oh no, you don't want to go there. You don't want to find that out. Keep that door closed. It's like, why would you want to open that can of worms? Why would you want to do that? It's like you're just fine the way you are. That's what the
Mhm.
mind's argument does. But it's like it's that inner that's that inner soul, that higher self, that it's whatever you want to call it. God is calling you to say, you will be a whole, you need to accept that part of yourself that you don't, that you're trying to hide. It's kind of like called shadow work, I guess, in that sense. It's like, in order to be whole, you really need to face that. And it takes a lot of courage. And sometimes that's what a lot of that's what coaching does. I mean, sometimes you'll need a lot of support to do that. But if you're ready to do that, I can tell you that's going to result in an incredible transformation for anybody.
And again, I keep going back to it as you're talking. It's like it's not just about going deep with sadness, for example. It could also be
No,
going deep with joy. Right?
absolutely it can.
We're afraid if
Absolutely.
we give ourselves to the joy of the moment, we might do something, irreparable in our life. We
Oh,
might make
right.
a choice we
Exactly.
can't change. And so we just don't even go there. I often
Right.
think of women whose husband's spouse has died, and then they never ever seek another relationship with
I
another
know. Uh-huh.
significant other. Because they're holding on to that old relationship and saying, I can never
Right.
replace it, right?
That's
But
correct.
also there is this sort of fear that what would happen if, at 70 years of age, I found someone that I could love again?
Right.
How would that change my life?
Or
Well, let's
if
not
they
go
found
there.
somebody, so what if they turned out to be better than my past spouse? It's like, oh my gosh, I feel so guilty, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So it's works both sides of the coin, as
It
we would
does.
say.
It
Yeah.
absolutely does. Yes, it does.
And so, from your experience working with your clients, what are the first subtle signs that someone is beginning to reconnect with themselves again? Can you tell?
I think it has to do with loving yourself. I mean, so many ways. I mean, self love is so powerful, and putting yourself again, putting yourself as number one. It's like this is what I want. This is my needs. It's like I'm speaking up for myself. It's like all my life I've been pandering to somebody else's needs. And it's like, and now suddenly it's like, you know, I'm awake now. It's like I'm important, I matter. This is what I want, this is what I need, and I'm voicing it. Because I think so many women feel like they're invisible, like that, their voice doesn't matter. And to finally say, I matter, I'm important, listen to me.
Mhm.
It's like they need to say that. They need to do that. I mean, that's just a very simple way of saying, you know, I'm tired of being number two or number three or whatever. It's like in somebody else's life. Hmm.
And it's not selfishness that we're talking about here. We are talking about loving yourself and saying, I do matter. And what I need,
Absolutely.
what I want is also important and needs to be a part of the equation in this context of my life.
Absolutely. I mean, I think as women, we grew up with the idea that, it's like, I'm not important. I can't voice if I ask for what I want, I'll either be punished or say, no, it's like you're being selfish or whatever. I mean, it's a subconscious program that we've been beaten down by saying your needs don't matter. You're not important. It's like, your
And
brother's more important or men are
more,
more important.
more often than not, though, we're the ones telling ourselves that they're more important.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, right.
absolutely correct.
It's not just
Absolutely.
it's not just the family construct that or the society that's saying that. We also have begun to say it to ourselves as well. So
Absolutely.
it becomes important to notice when those moments happen and what we actually really think and how we
Absolutely.
actually
Yes,
feel.
indeed. Yes.
I'm going to guess the thinking and the feeling might be at odds in those situations. So we have to
Yes.
get aligned. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. And I would say get aligned with your feelings. Let your
Very
feelings
good. Yes, I would
telling
too.
what your mind is thinking because your mind may not really be right. Your mind may be more like, let's just keep this the way it always has been.
The mind's job is to keep you safe. In other words, it doesn't care if you thrive, it wants you to survive. So it will do anything. And that's why, we feel so unworthy all the time because the mind is like, it's like we have a comfort zone, right? So it's like getting out of our comfort zone is very dangerous to the mind. So it's like whether it's making more money, whether it's starting a new career, whatever. It's like the mind goes, you've never done this before, you know what you're doing, who do you think you are? And all this self-doubt will come up. You'll procrastinate, you'll self-sabotage, you don't know why. It's all very subconscious from those programs and a lot of it goes back to childhood, like I don't feel worthy,
Mhm.
I don't
Uh-oh.
deserve this. So this is part of my work. You have to break through that glass ceiling and basically set what I call outrageous goals and feel the triggering and then let go of the triggering.
Well, so for my last question today, I want to ask if there is someone listening or watching who is feeling that quiet pull, like something in them is trying to wake back up. What is,
Yep.
in your mind, Catherine, one gentle way that they could begin?
Think basically being grounding, being in the present moment,
Mhm.
doing some deep breathing. I mean, then you're focusing on yourself. You're saying, I matter, I'm important, I need to take time just to do this, to quiet that mind and say, I'm going to just spend a few moments in the present moment and, turn the mind off, get out of the rat race, get out of my busy day, take time for myself, whether that's 5 minutes, whether that's, getting a massage, going, self-care, whatever it, taking a walk in nature, wonderful. Get out of the house and walk in nature. Wonderful way to connect with yourself.
Yes. And I've learned nature has an energetic field that is calmer than humans.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
so when
gosh.
you put yourself in nature, your energy field starts to align with nature and you calm
Absolutely.
down.
Yes.
Yeah. It's part of that self-regulation piece that we're all working.
Indeed.
Well,
Yes.
okay, great. Well, listen, I want to say as we wrap up today, thank you so much. The conversation has had a great depth for us, and it's obvious to me that you care very much about the work that you do. There is something I think really powerful in the reminder that we don't need to push ourselves back to ourselves, but rather that we can just simply breathe and allow that to come through as we learn to pay attention to our emotions and to what our passion, what our truth is.
Yes. Yes.
To those of you listening or watching, I want to thank you for being here today. These conversations are not, they're not just something to take in and move on from. They are invitations to notice, to reflect, and to relate to yourself in perhaps different ways than you've ever done before. And if something in this conversation has resonated with you, I would encourage you to take a moment and stay with that. Take that walk Catherine talked about. Take that pause. There may be something in you that is really ready right now to be seen again, and it doesn't have to happen through effort. It can happen simply through attention. If you would like to connect more deeply with Catherine and the work that she does, you will find her links in the show notes to this episode. Her work offers a space to soften, to be met, and to begin reconnecting with yourself in a very supportive way. And if you are in a place where something feels it's shifting, where you know you don't want to go back to the way it was before, but you're not really sure where to move forward to, I would invite you to join me in conversation as well. I do offer a complimentary session called Finding Your Inner Bearings. There is a link in the show notes to access that and schedule that appointment if you would like as well. The idea here is that we're not forcing clarity, but rather we're starting to listen to ourselves and to hear our truth because it is, as Catherine said earlier, it is inside you. Thank you everyone for being here today, and I encourage you to join us again for our next conversation. In the meantime, pause every once in a while and just check in. Thanks, everyone.